depends on what your expectations of solar power are when it comes to a travel trailer or a toy hauler or a fifth wheel. Because there's some pretty good solar packages that are offered by manufacturers. Brinkley has a good one, Rockwood and Flagstaff have a good one, etc., etc. So there's a lot of manufacturers that offer a pretty cool solar package. And then there's some DIY stuff that is out there that's pretty cool as well. But here's the problem. The problem is the expectations of what battery capabilities and solar panels really are. So in the mind of someone that wants to be completely off the grid, wants to camp for months at a time or live in a coach full time without the need to go to a plug-in site or run a generator, you're talking about not buying a small unit. You're talking about buying a very large unit. And you're talking about spending anywhere between $15,000 and $40,000 so you can run your air conditioner. And you'll never recuperate that money. That's the hard part that people don't realize. Like, you can dump a bunch of money into solar and good batteries to run your air conditioner without a generator, without being plugged in a solar camp. But you'll never recuperate that money because people overall don't see the value in it. Now, when it comes to some of the inverter setups that, and I'm going to use Forest River, Flagstaff, and Rockwood as an example because to me, when it comes to travel trailers, they do it the best, okay? At least the setup of it. I'm not saying they use the best stuff, but just the setup of it. So the setup, especially if the dealer orders it right, is you can get a Geo Pro or an E Pro or a Microlight, Mini Light, whatever, a little 25-foot trailer or less with 400 watts of solar, a 30-amp charge controller, and an 1,800-watt inverter that works on just about every single outlet in the coach. Now, that's really cool for a couple reasons. Number one, if you are off the grid, you don't need to use your generator, portable generator, to run your coffee pot, to run your mixer or blender, to run maybe some kind of small operating device like a TV or charge a laptop or, run something like an electric shaver, something of nature. You don't have to at all basically start a noisy generator at 5 in the morning if you want to have a Bloody Mary. You could simply turn on your inverter and your 2 battery setup will run every outlet in the coach. And to me, that is what the expectation of solar should be. It is an expectation of being a battery charger. That's all it is. Nothing really truly runs on solar. It runs on the battery system being charged by solar. And if you look at how houses are wired with solar, there's a lot of that power going to batteries, going to some kind of power management system. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And RVs work the same way. So as long as the expectation is lower down to reality of what solar really is, then at the end of the day, people are going to have a better understanding of what overlanding is, of what off-grid camping is really like. So I was talking to some folks that bought an Intech Willow, and they got the full package that Intech offers. Now, I'm not talking shit about Intech. I actually am a big fan. But this is the best way to put it because they have a system where you can have an air conditioner with a soft start, and it basically runs off the lithium battery system. So they did not buy a generator. They went out into a mountain area that was around 89, 90 degrees during the day. They turned on the air conditioner and the cloud cover started to come in. Now, Intech does not go cheap on solar when you offer their solar package. It is not cheap, and they don't go cheap. They don't go cheap with the battery either. Okay, it's all placed at the factory. So they turn on their air conditioner, and about 2.5 hours later, the battery's nuked and dead. And there's nowhere to plug in. There's no sunlight really because it was an overcast day. So they spent about $9,000 extra for this system and never took a generator with them because the dealership that sold it to them swore that it would run for hours, that it's built to run for all night. And that's simply not the truth. Even with a soft start, you're going to get maybe 3.5 hours of no generator air conditioning on a perfect day in sunlight. Unless you are spending a tremendous amount of money on the batteries and the solar system. And more than 8 or 9 grand. So what I always tell people is the best way to do it, and I know somebody was telling me the other day, we were talking about solar packages, and they were talking that Brinkley has a power package that includes a soft start on, I think, 1 or 2 of the air conditioners on the travel trailer. Don't quote me because I don't sell Brinkley, but I was told this, and that their solar package is great in conjunction with a portable generator. So basically the way it was described to me was instead of having to take a 5,500 watt generator or 6,000 watt generator, they're able to take a 4,000 watt generator. And because of the way Brinkley apparently put together this power system, that you could plug it into a 30 amp or 4,000 watt generator and run both air conditioners without popping breakers. Now, if that is true, then basically between Rockwood, Flagstaff, Keystone Cougar, Alliance, and Brinkley, you basically have a system where instead of having to run your generator for everything when it comes to your electricity, you only need to bring a portable generator for simply your air conditioner and your microwave. Now, folks don't realize that motorhomes are different in a lot of respects because motorhomes, for the most part, and I'm not talking about B vans that suck, I'm talking about most your high-end Class Cs and your Class A gas and your Class A diesel have an autogen system. What is autogen? Well, a lot of times what ends up happening is when you are in a motorhome, like a Winnebago Vista or God, even back in the day, a Beaver or God, a Tiffin Allegro. When you're in those kind of units, they have a built-in generator with autogen. So if your inverter is inverted through the air conditioner and you can run the AC off the batteries, when the batteries get to a certain point, the generator automatically kicks on if you have enough fuel. So the battery doesn't completely get nuked. So that's a management system, right? But still needs a generator. It's like all these electric vehicles are now talking about putting a gasoline motor or gasoline generator to try to lengthen out the capability of how far an electric vehicle can go. So you're starting to understand, people don't understand, batteries only work the way they say they work in perfect tested conditions. Humidity, weather, moisture, dryness. If it's anything outside of the norm of what they regularly tested that battery will not function at 100%.